He has been able to just dominate every event. It doesn't matter if it's the breaststroke, if it's the butterfly, if it's different forms that I don't even know what they are. You know Michael Phelps is one of the best at it, if not the best at it, and he has the gold medals to show for it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great episode today. We're ranking the greatest athletes of all time. Now, one thing we should say is that this isn't about the best athletes from a physical standpoint. This isn't about the best winners. This isn't about the most accomplished players. It's about overall greatness, what they've done in their sport and how they dominated the rest of the competition.
Exactly. So you'll see across this list, we're spanning across a bunch of different sports. So it doesn't really matter if it's just basketball, football, baseball. We're talking about the best athletes of all time. It could feature gold medals. It could feature World Cup championships. It could feature anything. But these are the top 5 greatest athletes of all time.
So with that being said, we're going to start with number 5, Babe Ruth. This guy transcended the game of baseball. He defined America's pastime. 714 home runs was like 500 more than anyone else for decades after he was long gone, and basically established a new ability to play the game and the home run ball, and just changed the game in so many ways that he's still a legend today, and without a doubt the greatest baseball player to ever live. And that's why he's one of the greatest athletes.
I mean, the Big Bambino, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I mean, we're talking about a guy, there's so much features right now on Shohei Ohtani, somebody that could hit the ball out the park and pitch a perfect game at the same time. And the original to do that is Babe Ruth. He was the original batter-pitcher combo. I mean, the guy's hitting bombs in 1920s, getting traded from one of the greatest franchises in MLB history to another one of the greatest franchises in MLB history. Of course, their rivals, Yankees, Red Sox. But what was it, Rob? Poetry, a play, or something along that lines?
Yeah.
So it's just crazy that one of the greatest athletes of all time was literally getting shipped off for a play. So Babe Ruth, big time number 5. From there, we're going to go to number 4. The greatest women's tennis player of all time, maybe the greatest tennis player of all time. We're talking about Serena Williams.
Maybe the greatest women's athlete of all time.
Maybe the greatest women's athlete of all time. And when we talk about Serena, she's won in so many different ways. She started off mainly playing, I don't know the appropriate word, duos with her sister, though. Basically, they took over the storm from coming from California, just going through all the different ranks and really just taking over the world with their 2 dynamic, feeding off each other's, just winning championships in and out. And then Serena was able to kind of break off from Venus and have a lot more success by herself by winning Grand Slams and really just dominating every single tournament that she played in. And also for her to be a black woman, which it was rare to see black people playing tennis in general, but especially to be a black woman doing it and just dominating the way that she did in every single fashion of the game. We had to add her in this list, and she wound up making it and coming in at number 4. Rob, what do you think about Serena?
Yeah, another transcendent talent. I think the biggest thing that sticks out about Serena and why she made this list is because anytime she stepped on the court, the other opponent was very much in fear. Yeah. They knew they had to bring their fucking A+ game or they had no chance of walking away with a victory. Because when you're going against Serena Williams, who is easily considered the GOAT in her profession, absolutely, you know you got your work cut out for you. And the way Serena Williams was just able to dominate with her forehand, backhand, every part of the game, and then obviously her impact off the court is, part of her legacy as well. We're trying to base these rankings on their on-field impact, but hers is obviously well beyond it as well. And just Serena Williams, without a doubt, the greatest women's athlete of all time, and clearly why she's on this list, because she's one of the greatest athletes in general. So going off to number 3 now, we have from the greatest women's athlete of all time to now the greatest Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps. What he did in the water is something no one's even done outside the water. The way that he has been able to just dominate every event. It doesn't matter if it's the breaststroke, if it's the butterfly, if it's different forms that I don't even know what they are. You know Michael Phelps is one of the best at it, if not the best at it, and he has the gold medals to show for it. So when you look up the list, it's not even close. And just his ability to just completely dominate his competition from that span of, I think, 2004 to 2016, there was no one else even in contention of being at that level, and that's why he's one of the greatest athletes ever.
100%. And the crazy thing about Venus, or the crazy thing about Serena Williams and Michael Phelps, is these are two sports that people usually don't spend a lot of time watching or paying attention to. And we got two people who are really that captivating enough to have the whole world like locked in on Olympic swimming and locked in on world championships in tennis. And Michael Phelps really dominated the sport like nobody ever has before. Like you said, Rob, doing so many different events, dominating, getting so many gold medals. He's like, I think we saw he was about 10 or 12 ahead of the next closest person. So, I mean, Michael Phelps, to dominate so many different events within the same sport and just time after time finish at the top of the podium, Michael Phelps is 100% deserving of being in our top 5.
And going off to 2B, who you got at number 2?
Going to number 2, man, we're talking about, well, we went for Michael Phelps, the most gold medals of all time. So we're going to actually transition to the NFL player with the most championships of all time, and that's TB12, Tom Brady, the GOAT. Just everything about Tom Brady, you love him or you hate him. It doesn't matter if you hated him when he played in New England. You love him when he's in Tampa Bay. It's just a lot of respect for Tom Brady and the way he goes about winning the game. And a lot of times nowadays, you see quarterbacks that can run and pass. Tom Brady just dominated from decade to decade to decade to the point where he's, about 45 years old now and still dominating, dropping back in the pass, throwing dimes, just handling business. And Tom Brady he's just a winner.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into Tom Brady's legacy with his coach, the dynasties, all the winning that happened. But one thing that I think really separates Tom Brady and why he became the greatest athlete, despite having limited athleticism, despite being the 199th pick in the draft, is it's up here. Yeah. It's all up here. 100%. From the neck up, I don't think there's a single athlete who was able to really compete and have that competitor's mindset, that leadership, the intangibles to constantly come through in the clutch and deliver when your team needed it most, more than Tom Brady. And that's why he's the greatest football player of all time, and that's why he's one of the greatest athletes ever. And someone who had a very similar characteristic is the number 1 pick on this list, and that's Michael Jordan. The two things that they have in common, other than their obvious dominant greatness on the court, on the field, is just from up here, the competitive nature that both of them had. Michael Jordan had maybe even higher, especially off the court. You know, the documentary that came out, he's competing in dice games, he's competing in everything imaginable, and he brought that on the court. And that's why, unlike Brady, who did lose a few times in the Super Bowl, Michael Jordan has no losses when it came to the big games. He didn't even let it get to a Game 7. That's why Michael Jordan Game 6 was iconic, because he knew he wasn't going to let it get to a Game 7. He's putting up 45. He's putting up bucket after bucket. He's getting clutch steals on Karl Malone and hitting the fadeaway in other dudes' faces. Michael Jordan is the epitome of greatness, and that is why he is considered one of and our greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah, and the thing about Michael Jordan is there's so many stories about him getting cut in high school and him having to go through all these trials and tribulations. I think he didn't play a lot when he got to UNC at the beginning and fought his way to be one of the greatest UNC Tar Heels of all time. And even though when you watch the tape of Michael Jordan, you see elite athleticism, you see elite movements and all that stuff, it really feels like he worked his way to get to that level with every single step in the process. And another thing about Michael Jordan is he obviously retired for a year, or didn't retire, went to the MLB for a year, actually the minor leagues, and played for the Birmingham Barons, I'm pretty sure it was, right in the middle of his prime, after winning championships, after going to the All-Star game every single year of his career. He just left for a year and actually came back, went crazy for the next 2 years. I think he led the league in scoring the next 3 years or something like that. Then he retired again for a couple years, came back, and at the age of 38 and 39 was averaging 20 points a game. So it just sticks to the point that no matter what Michael Jordan is doing, he's going to do it at an excellent level. It doesn't matter how old he is. His level of preparation, his level of work, and really it's just his mindset between him and Tom Brady, and really just everybody on this list that earned them the right to be on this list. It starts up here and all that transitions to their body. So kudos to our top 5. Babe Ruth at number 5, Serena at number 4, Phelps at number 3, Brady at 2, Michael Jordan at number 1. That's a hell of a top 5, Rob.
Hell of a top 5. What a great list. What a great way to start this new show. And the thing is, we're going to have our own opinions. You're going to have yours too. So why don't you go to this link, check out the article, and create your own rankings. So you can actually go in and rank your own rankings and put whoever you want in your top 5 as well. And also, we should note, this is sponsored by Fan Gear Nation. You can get great jerseys at a great price, high quality stuff, very great deals. They are our featured sponsor right now, so we have a big shout out to them. We are accepting more sponsors as well. This could be your beer, for example. You know, a lot of opportunities there. But hey, great first show. Really appreciate you guys watching. Let us know who you think should be your top 5 in the comments and in the article as well.
Love y'all. Comment down, subscribe, hang out with us.